Okay, welcome to my char cloth tutorial. The best thing I've found for making char cloth is just regular kerosene lamp wick material. And what I do with it then is cut it into little pieces about an inch long or so, just make sort of like little squares or little rectangles. Then put it inside, kind of loosely, inside a can with a tight-fitting lid and a small vent hole in the top. Then with that, you're going to put this on or in a fire and burn the wick material until it becomes char cloth. And I'll show you how I set that up. Alright, you get your can and set it on top of your little fire, and right out of that center vent hole you'll eventually start to see some fumes and smoke and possibly even some flame shooting out of it. You want to leave it on the fire and let it cook until those fumes and smoke have kind of cleared up. And then I'll show you, you want to plug that vent hole. Okay, it looks like most of the smoke has stopped coming out. So at this point you want to take a little stick and stick it in your vent hole and take this off of the fire. Set it down somewhere where it can cool, but be sure and leave the little plug in your vent hole. You don't want too much oxygen getting in there, or you'll all of your char cloth will kind of burn up. You'll have nothing but ash left that won't be any good for you. Alright, once everything is cooled down enough that you can touch it without any problem, you can carefully open it, and there's your char cloth. And then that is about the best thing for catching the spark from the flint and steel. You can also use tinder fungus and other things like that, but they're not available everywhere and kind of hard to find. If you make some char cloth, you'll have it, and you can use other things like 100% cotton towels, or just about anything that's got some nap to it that can catch the sparks, but it has to be 100% cotton, or when you try to make char out of it, it just shrivels and gets crunchy, and it's not usable. And I hope that helps. Thanks. Another thing you'll want to get a hold of for fire making is some kind of tinder. This is juniper bark. A lot of times you can find this stuff just kind of hanging loose on the side of juniper trees or cedar trees, whatever you call them. This is like the best stuff I've found, but a lot of people use other things. You can use some kinds of grasses. I've used the inner bark of old dead cottonwood trees that you can strip out when the bark comes off, and it looks similar to this. It doesn't have quite the flammability that this does, but it still works pretty good. Anything that's kind of fibrous and that can kind of keep your little spark that you have in your char cloth or in your coal if you're using a bow drill fire will work. But this you need to kind of prepare. So let me kind of show you. One thing you can do this to it. Kind of break up the fibers make it fluffy, puffy, and fuzzy. And this works pretty good for some of it. Another thing that I've found that works really well, okay, you see how nice and fuzzy that is? That'll catch in the flame really easy. Another thing that I've found is you can take a handful of stuff that will do this, put it down, and just stomp it like that, twist your foot around, and without too much effort you've got a pretty nice bundle of stuff that'll catch a flame pretty good. So whatever you want to do, but this stuff really catches fire easily.